Good morning, seventh grade. It is me, the lovely Miss Smith. I know, no pictures, please. It's okay. All right. So it is Thursday. It's Thursday, October 1st. It's the first day of October. Yay, I am so ready. Okay, so let's talk about what we're reading today. Today, we are still reading the Canterbury Tales. So remember, the Canterbury Tales is this book of narratives, it's this book of stories. It's written to entertain us. And today we're going to read another story within the Canterbury Tales. It's called The Wife of Bastel. So, The Wife of Bastel is a romantic comedy. So, when I think of romantic comedies, because I love romantic comedies, I think of like two people in love. They have to go through all these obstacles, but their love is so strong that they end up together and it's just happily ever after. That's what I think of. There's also some funny things in between it, but like it's happily ever after. This story is a little different, okay? And it's not exactly that perfect fairy tale, but it's still a nice little love story when you get towards the end. So I want you to take a look at the pictures I have on the right side. On the right side, I have this picture of like this ugly old lady. She's just ugly. She has wart on her nose. She's just, I don't even want to look at her. And then on the left side, on the very bottom, I have this picture of this knight, and then this knight is next to this like two-headed person kind of. It's like a old lady on the bottom and then a beautiful woman on the top. When you get to the end of the story, this picture is going to make sense to you, I promise you. But this kind of gives you the gist of like we're learning about this man and this old lady. What is happening? Oh my goodness. So we're about to start reading to kind of figure it out. Before we read, I kind of want to give you a little context about what we're reading. So we're going to read about this man who is sentenced to death. He's sentenced to death and he gets to live if he can figure out what women most desire. So he goes on this journey. So we're about to start reading about his journey that he goes on. While I read, I want you to make sure that you follow my spotlight. So when you see my red spotlight, which will show in just a second. So you see my spotlight, you're gonna follow my spotlight. Let's go ahead and start reading. In the old days of glory, when King Arthur's round table stood in Camelot, chivalrous knights sat and talked of love. Damsels, which are young ladies, embroidered tokens of love. Squires, which are young men, composed love songs, and jousts were fought over love. Hardly a word was spoken that was not of love. Only when men and women met did they talk about the weather instead. How blue the sky is, lady, a young man would say. And how warm the breeze, she would reply. And how is your mother, he would ask. Quite well, considering the weather, she would answer. Then he would bow and she would smile and they would go their separate ways. What I want you to do is go ahead and start reading this next part. Starting at so, you have 2 minutes, go ahead and read.